And we are here. It's 6 p.m. on a Sunday. It's D&G. 6:06. Sorry. Well, I wasn't going to tell anyone. I was going to hope that that wasn't even noticed. I'm going to take a big stab in the dark. Can you grab the hard drive and put it just on there? I'm going to give it a shot today because the computer was running pretty nicely. You've ruined it. You need to push it back just a little. There we go. Perfect. The computer was running quite nicely today, so I'm going to risk running it. It looks like we're out of focus, just a little bit. Anyway, hi, D&G17 with possibly one of the smoothest and most professional starts to a D&G ever.
Because we've worked out the system.
I think we have, and that still looks out of focus to me, which is annoying. Yeah, so you look much more in focus when you get up close. Let's pull it in closer. No reason why we can't get nice and close. They don't need to. There's no reason that anyone would want to see below our chest level. I reckon that's good.
Good. All right.
Okay, cool. We're off.
We're on.
At the speed of a herd of turtles. So, how are you?
Good.
That's good.
Good week. Went
Yes.
really fast.
Did it?
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's always good when the week goes fast, but then the weekend goes just as fast. And next thing you know, it's Monday and you got to go back to life.
I've had a very good weekend, but yes, it could be nice if it was a little bit longer.
Yeah. You had the place to yourself.
I did. And when the cat's away, the mouse will sit on the couch and watch old 90s movies.
Like, what did you watch?
The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw the Facebook update.
Oh, I was explaining it to Jamie just in the car before. It was awesome. It's one of those films because she made the comment of you wouldn't want to go back and see it as it is now and go, oh my God, all my memories are ruined. That didn't happen, but I did go back and say, oh my God, this movie's like cheesy and terrible. Just because of the aspects that they included that were just silly and ridiculous, at which when I was younger I didn't realise. I didn't realise that it was absurd with the way things happen. But watching it this time, I was just like that. I still got into it, and I may have almost gotten emotional.
Oh.
Because it was so emotional the way things were happening. Because I actually noticed that the Coach Bombay and Charlie Conway father figure dynamic was a lot. I saw that differently than I had previous watching, which was kind of.
Which one's Emilio Estevez? Is he
Gordon Bombay? He's the coach.
Who's the Conway?
Charlie Conway's the young player who then in like the second one gets referred to as like the captain of the team, and then in the third one he's like absolutely the captain of the team.
Is this Joshua Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
From the Fringe.
And from Fringe as well, yes. In the first one he's not really a captain of the team or anything.
But isn't Emilio Humben Conway's mum?
Yeah, they have a little bit of a flirt and stuff like that. That's what I meant in the father figure. Because Charlie tries to get Gordon to date his mum and become like a father figure. And his mum's like, no, I've been hurt before and all that kind of stuff. Which makes it even funnier because at the very end of the first film, he says, I'm going to go have a tryout with the minor leagues and we'll see how it goes. And he kisses her goodbye. In the start of the second film, she's nowhere around, and Hans or Jans actually says when Charlie's mother remarried. So in the few years that he's been away, possibly years been away playing hockey, he's dumped her, and then she's moved on and actually gotten married. So yeah,
it's the way to do it.
Quite amusing, really, how quickly they move on.
How is it medically possible for He's a good-looking fella.
He is a good-looking fella. I want to know if there's anybody else around that caused that to happen, or whether he's just experimenting with makeup by himself.
No, it looks like
at home.
Bedroom or
I'm sure he won't mind if we just quickly post that picture. Good looking fella. Anyway, it was the other thing that was a comment on your urine smelling like espresso if you have too much espresso.
Does it or not?
I haven't done any research into it, but I have over my time drunk a lot of coffee, and I've never noticed it. So I don't know. It makes sense.
I notice my wee smells like Wheat Bix if I have Wheat Bix.
Yeah. It makes sense that because what goes out or comes out is affected by what goes in.
Yes.
So it makes complete sense. Not even related. I thought it was going to be a message of the audio's not working, or this looks good, or that looks good, but no. I brought the computer over, and now it's just not quite working. That can go away. Okay, there you go.
Fair enough. So Mighty Ducks, good. Stood the test of time.
Absolutely stood the test of time.
I don't think I've ever seen the third one.
Don't worry. No, you're right. Don't worry. Yeah. That's not gonna.
Is Emilio in the third one?
Barely.
Barely.
They effectively get rid of him, but he comes back because he's gone back to being a lawyer.
Yep.
He's
and the Ducks need.
They need legal representation because they're in college. Yeah, most of them are in college. Like this, they've all been given scholarships to the same college, and they're against the varsity team a bunch. And I can't remember why they need legal representation, but eventually they all get offered scholarships or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the Mighty Ducks came out at the exact same time that the Anaheim Ducks.
I don't think it was the same time. I think the movie came out first.
Okay. But was the movie a vehicle for promoting the Anaheim Ducks? Or
I think I don't know, but I think
the success of the Mighty Ducks.
I think it was probably coincidental that somebody in Anaheim or in that area wanted to start a team. They went to Disney and said, "Would you be interested in being part of a hockey team? Yep. Look, what we'll do is we'll use your movie that just came out and we'll make the Mighty Ducks."
Cool.
Because I think when the second film came out, they used a jersey which then got used as the actual Anaheim Mighty Ducks jersey. I think that they used that first. So it could have been the second film that used that jersey first, and then that was a vehicle for the thing.
Do the Anaheim Ducks...
I think I know what you're going to say, yeah.
Do they psych each other up by going, quack, quack, quack?
That wasn't what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, do they use the Flying V?
Do they use the Flying V?
I don't think they use the Flying V.
I don't think they're a team anymore.
No, they are.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they just recently were in the Stanley Cup, I think.
Really?
If I had things working, I'd ask Brian, because Brian's our guy for that kind of stuff.
So you jinxed it by thinking that
I thought it would work, but it didn't work. Everything else is going fine, though, apparently. It appears that It appears that the feed is going well.
Take that, you mighty duck fox.
Okay.
Yep.
Dogma?
No.
Oh, it sounds a bit familiar.
You've never seen Dogma?
And I've seen Dogma, but that bit just
when Jay gets the twins and he says, "Take that, you mighty duck fox." Because they're on rollerblades.
I suggested in my posts on Facebook to Brian that they need to do a fourth movie, and they need to make it all about all of the players are playing in some like rinky-dink, crappy amateur team, like in their 40s, and they get back together to play for like a championship and like to really kick ass as a championship team again. And I've just noticed the Mighty Ducks cast reunites for 20th anniversary, and if this goddamn thing would work properly, I'd actually look at it, but it's not working properly. So you know what? Screw it. The shitty laptop, or I should just say old laptop, can go back there. So yeah.
So you had a good weekend to yourself watching the Mighty Ducks?
I did. I ate pizza twice.
Nice.
Kind of embarrassing because the same delivery guy brought it to me.
Not good.
So he brought me
different pizzas, or were they
no, exactly the same order.
Yeah.
He brought me the same pizza on the Saturday evening as he did for Sunday lunch.
did you have?
Did I say Sunday lunch? No, Friday night and Saturday lunch.
Yeah, what did you have?
I had the same thing that Jamie and I always order, but this time I got to eat all of it myself.
Oh, what did you have?
A half Hawaiian, half barbecue pizza and a Rocky Road calzone.
Calzone.
And I got to eat the entire thing myself, and that was what I was looking forward to, was the fact that I didn't have to share. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, I'm very funny about sharing my food. Like I don't like to share food, but unless it's with that someone special, then I'm happy to share food with.
I'm okay with sharing food. For me, it's a matter of I just want to eat more. I'm that much of a bit of a piggy that I will eat the entire thing before anybody has a chance to eat some themselves, and then I get into trouble.
So it's safe to say the weight you've lost over the last couple of weeks has been put back on your pizza.
Probably.
Well, you just need a good shit.
That said, though, I've barely eaten today. Like, literally haven't. No, just because I didn't feel like it. But that could be because of the intense amount of carbs that I've had over the last 2 days. So, yeah, I have had a terrible weekend, and I'm back on healthy eating as of tomorrow. Actually, tonight, really, because I'm having... we're going to have bangers and mash tonight, I think, and that's going to be perfectly healthy. Sort of. Healthy enough. So, yeah, back to training and back to working hard tomorrow. I don't know why I brought that one up, because that's not going to help too much unless I get a direct message from anyone. So yeah, back to the reasonably healthy diet. I only lost like 2 kilos. Then the other day I checked myself on the scales and I was back up again to 110. So yeah, it's as I think we've talked about before. For me, it's especially for me, and it should be for everyone really. It's not about the weight as much as it is about the feeling good and having a good day. So last week my training sessions were numerous, so I'm happy.
Good. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward this week. I'm already focusing on the possibility of a double Monday night.
Nice.
Going for the double Monday night. Went the double Tuesday night last week, but hoping for a nice early and efficient close to the day of work on Monday, and then straight to training for a double. That's the goal. Just saying.
Are you still getting public transport to work?
Well, I've realised that it only takes about 45 minutes to walk, and it takes about an hour to get public transport because you have to wait for trams. So I literally just walk sometimes, or ride the bike. Oh, turn the volume down on that. No one's watching at the moment.
Fair enough. It's just us.
That was what I was trying to get at. I was trying to get info.
Get them there.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice little segue there. It came up organically. I have a bike.
Oh.
I have had a bike for years.
What kind of bike?
A bicycle with 2 wheels.
One with wheels.
Seat. Yeah.
Seats are good.
I have a bike. I hadn't, since moving into the new place, I had bought the bike to the new place, but yet hadn't ridden it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out for lunch with long-time listener, absentee Big Si, and I didn't have my car yesterday, so I was going to get public transport to meet him in Collingwood, and then he challenged me to, why don't you just ride it? I thought, it's I've never taken on a ride of that magnitude before, not realising it was only 4 kilometres away.
I was about to say,
yeah,
from your, I've got a rough idea of where your place is, and to Collingwood, that's not far at all.
4 Ks. So I thought, look, I'll give it a go. Jumped on the bike, had a great trip until I got to the corner of Gertrude and Smith Street when I realised I can't remember how to do a right-hand turn. I was trying to do a right-hand turn from the left side of the right lane. Yeah. And then there was a guy going on the road. Look behind you, mate. And there was a car coming right at me, so I got off the road. Yeah. Right in front of everyone, and You've got to be confident with your bike riding. If you're not confident, I'm
you are
confident, but I'd forgotten how to do a right-hand turn.
But what I mean is, you got to be confident as to where you're going to be on the road for where you think. And as you're saying, if you've forgotten exactly where the best spots are, always best to be safe and hop off crossing the road. But you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was bloody awesome. So yeah,
when was this? Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Nice day for it.
It was a really nice day for it.
Nice day.
So we got off corner of Smith and Gertrude. had a bite to eat, and then it was only early, so we said, what do you want to do? Went for a ride into the city. So, that's another 15 minutes into the city. Went and had a look at some motorbikes. Not from there. I don't want a motorbike.
As if you don't want a motorbike, so that the two of you can go on nice day trips together. No?
No, I'll never. I'll fall off. I can just handle riding a bicycle. I don't know about a motorbike. So went into the city. Went down Hosier Lane. Looked at the graffiti.
The graph.
Yeah. And then I was on Flinders Street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go home from here.
That's a fun bike ride down Flinders Street.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Flinders Street.
Flinders Street coming back towards Richmond.
So which way did you go? Did you go down past the G?
No, I went down Flinders Street that turns into Bridge Road.
Ah, yep.
Yeah. Whatever tram line that is.
Very nice.
So it was really nice. And then while I'm riding to Collingwood, I'm like, why the hell don't I ride to Dominance every day? Like it's a
from your place, it'd be the same. It'd be about the same
minutes.
same distance as riding from here.
Yeah.
And it would be quite nice.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have a hill or anything. We've got a hill to go over going from here, but you've got nothing. It's nice and flat.
Yeah. So
I find it's a really good warm up.
Yeah.
You just get a little bit of the blood pumping, and if you don't push too hard before a training session, a bike ride's quite nice, and it's a good cool down as well.
Well, see, that's why I want to get a backpack, because obviously I can't take mine on.
No, a bit big.
Yeah, and then the other problem is I pick up Good Guy Simon in the mornings because he hasn't got a car at the moment. So I'll be ruining that for him.
Oh well.
Yeah. So look, I think
we'll wait until he's got a car.
Yeah,
maybe just do sessions when he doesn't need a lift. Ride.
Well, I drive him every day. We go. Every day.
Okay.
So,
except Tuesday.
Except Tuesday. But in saying that,
yeah,
I could technically ride to school after training. I probably couldn't Tuesday, but Thursday I could, because Thursday don't start till 8:30, and that half an hour extra is probably enough.
I highly recommend riding to training and then to school.
Yeah.
Although I have to be honest, the possibility that you're not going to be there on a Tuesday, it's just a thing that 13 things eternally late people know to be true. I was very tempted in commenting on that, saying, "Well, try not to be late."
Yeah, it's not fucking hard.
It's not hard.
Fucking act together.
It's not hard at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always late. I'm so sorry. No, you're not sorry. If you were sorry, you'd put more effort into not being late.
See, my parents we were always running late for things.
Yeah.
So I'm always early for everything I do.
I find that my school was very positive in making sure everyone ran on time.
High school?
High school. And then that has then caused me to be that way. I am very keen on being early. I usually leave half an hour or so beforehand with a lot of things. Just last Sunday, I referenced getting up early to go to the market. I couldn't find the keys for the truck to start the day. I eventually found them and eventually got to the market and everything and did everything I had to do on time because I had allowed about an hour extra.
Yep.
And gotten up an hour earlier because I just did not want to be late and I just couldn't afford to be late. And because of that, I then was able to not be late because I had left that amount of time, even though something went wrong. Yeah. I know a good example is for training. I always like to be 10 to 15 minutes early so that I can get dressed, get changed, start stretching. For Mai Tai, do the wraps, nice and relaxed. As opposed to, oh my God, I'm here. Oh my God, hold on a second. I'm good. That just always sets me off for a bad. It just doesn't go well. So yeah. That said, though, I think one reason why people are late is because they're always doing too much.
Yes.
I've found that I've found that if I'm trying to squeeze too much in, something always goes 5-10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Then you get traffic. Then you get this, and then you turn up an hour late to something. But then that said, some people, they're doing so much, but you kind of don't want to tell them to stop doing so much because they're doing good things. And
no, they're wasting their time. Like simplify your life. Like, you know, people that do too much, they're doing too much. Just simplify.
Well, a good example today is obviously I don't do it all the time, but today I wasn't here when you got here. Terrible, just terrible. And I guess that was because I sort of did too much. I sort of said, yeah, sure, I can pick Jamie up from the airport. That's no problem. And then I went, wait a second, that's at 4:30. That could be pushing it. Especially luckily the plane was on time and everything. If the plane had been late or anything, it would have been real bad. But yeah, I think, speaking of my day today, I think last week I said that I was definitely going camping this weekend.
Yes, you were.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I mention it? Did we talk about it at all?
I don't know if we talked about it on air, but we certainly talked about it.
We talked about it off air and stuff.
Certainly.
So it could have been even worse if I had turned up late to Jamie. Because I said to her, that's all right, 4:30 is a perfectly acceptable time for me to finish my camping trip, come back in, pick her up, then come here. I wanted to be here a lot earlier in that plan so that I could shower and I could be clean. Whereas today I didn't have to because I was already clean because I hadn't done anything all day. Brian's here. Yeah, so it worked out better that I didn't go camping, even though I did miss it.
Yeah,
I did a couple of times. I thought to myself, like I just had an image of sitting underneath my tarp, fire, relaxing. Would have been great, but I wouldn't have gotten any of the washing done. I wouldn't have got any food bought. I wouldn't have gotten any of the kitchen cleaned. So much. I wouldn't have gotten the Mighty Ducks watched. Ugh.
And you wouldn't have eaten a pizza and calzone to yourself.
Two.
There you go.
2 of each.
There you go.
And I was kind of on the way here tempted to order it again because I'm a bit hungry. Hello, Brian.
Where'd you get it from?
What?
Pizza.
Crust. It's either Crust or Mojo's are the two that we get from here.
Weird pizza.
Mojo's Weird Pizza is good, but I like to swap between the two because I find that I appreciate either one when I've had the other one. So you have Mojo's and you go, oh, I'll get Crust. Oh, I really like Crust. Then you go, have Mojo's again and you go, oh, this is really good. How different and weird it is.
My problem is I get a hankering for pizza really late at night and there's never any pizza shops that are open besides one. Yeah.
We can now ask Brian, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, was that a tie-in with the first or second film, or was that just a coincidence? Or we tried searching it on the internet, but we couldn't find anything.
See, because I think, do you remember that movie, The Wizard? Fred Savage
of Oz? Oh, the Nintendo one.
Nintendo one, which was blatant advertising
where he's got the glove and he's playing the thing.
It was
Nintendo, and it was an advertisement for Super Mario 3
which
because
hadn't come out at that
it hadn't come out, and at the end of the big competition, it was, and now a new game, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, a new game!" And then somehow he happened to find a warp.
Yeah, the warp gate.
He just happened to find a warp in there, but anyway. That's I'm gonna have to type the thing in.
What are you searching for?
I was gonna try and search for Mighty Ducks, but Brian can tell us. That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
It is. I remember hearing somewhere that the people that are good with internet security and stuff had said 3 random words and a number. Then words have to be completely unrelated.
So, Midget Porn Inferno 1981?
That's not unrelated.
Okay.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie, yeah.
It's a long and annoying password because of it, unfortunately. I'm feeling low lately that I want to change it. I've had them for my passwords. I've had all my passwords for too long now.
Yeah. But then you forget them.
Well, that's why I would write them down somewhere. I hope.
Mighty Ducks.
Disney actually owned the team until 2003, I believe. So yes, it was a tie-in to the actual team. Yeah, but which came first? That's what I want to know. I get the feeling that it would have been after the second film when they donned the official, what became the Ducks emblem and colours, that would have been the first time that we would have seen it, and then the team would have happened. That's the impression I get.
Well, look, we've got some answers there, but the important one that we need to know, Brian, do they practice the flying V, or do they psych each other up by doing quack, quack, quack?
Or we will quack you.
We will quack you?
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Yep.
And how effective is the knuckle puck? That's what I want to know.
Knuckle puck?
Remember the knuckle puck?
I don't remember the knuckle puck.
Brian says yes, second film. The knuckle puck was the fact that this young kid kept turning up to the games and giving the team shit.
Yeah.
And then when they were doing a workout one time, he walked into the arena where they were practicing and warming up and stuff, and said, "You guys come down to my street hockey court, and my team will give you an absolute schooling." Mm-hmm. So they said, "Fine, let's go, let's do it." So they go down to this thing, and a bunch of, this isn't racist because they were all ethnic, black and Hispanic street kids from LA teach the Team USA Pee-wee hockey team how to play hockey, including lines like "use the brakes, baby." Second, because Luis Mendoza couldn't stop. He could go really, really fast, but he couldn't stop.
So what's the knuckle puck?
Knuckle puck is this young guy who turned out to be Keenan something, who has gone on to be quite successful in Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
He gets the puck, and the puck normally sits like that, and he goes pop and pops it up on its side, and then hits it.
Okay.
And it apparently spins and goes through the air up and down and crazy, and the goalies don't know where it's going. It's like a curveball.
Okay.
But it's pretty much impossible and not very true at all.
Knuckle
puck. See, Brian's an LA Kings fan, so he doesn't like the Ducks.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's not what I meant to press.
I found...
hell no, lol. Both flying V and the knuckle puck.
V. Okay,
but I mean, the game with Iceland showed us...
Quack.
The game with Iceland showed us that the flying V doesn't work, because all they have to do is just hip and shoulder them, and they fall over, and then there's no one in defence, there's no one, and they get a free rein. So yeah.
I want to know, and Brian can help me with this.
Yep.
If you can, I want to get some Newfoundland hockey team merchandise so that I can wear it.
Newfoundland?
Newfoundland.
Oh, Foundland. I thought you said Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Like you don't.
Newfoundland.
You don't say Newfoundland every time.
You're not from there, so I think you should.
No, I shouldn't.
That's like, do you say Quebec? Do you say Quebec with a French accent, or do you say it?
I say
Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah, because you're from Australia, not Canada.
And I say Toronto. I don't say Toronto.
No, you should say Toronto because you're from. No, you're not from Canada.
But
I know.
by proxy,
I know you're trying to be from Canada.
Okay.
I know you're in love with Canada, and you want to move to Canada.
I do want to move to Canada, but
what area of Canada would you go to?
I don't know.
Because I would go deep. I would go into, I can't remember what the it's the forest area that's almost in the Arctic Circle. Mm-hmm. That's the area that I'd go to. The Yukon. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. That's my...
So, as I was saying,
I want
to get some Newfoundland hockey merch.
Yep.
I found out today that the Leafs had an affiliate team in Newfoundland.
Okay.
The St. John's Leafs.
Okay.
But they've since gone under, and they were an AHL team, American Hockey League, which is under the team, the organisation under the NHL.
I would imagine that's like the VFL.
Like the VFL.
Yep.
But now there's a team called the St. John's Ice Caps, and I want to get some of their merch.
Brian says that he's been to the Yukon and Alaska. Well, to you, Brian. I've been to the Grampians, so...
I got a good joke for you.
Yeah.
What did Delaware?
What did Delaware?
I don't know, Alaska.
that is some
quality podcasting.
That is some awesome dad jokey.
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to try and remember that so that when I've talking to the mic, Dale.
Sorry.
I think it is a little far away because I do have mine up quite close.
You're getting a hand job from that mic stand.
I am riding it a little bit. It is, yeah. Can you get yours any closer? No, you can't because of the couch, can you?
No.
And we tried it the other week and it didn't quite work.
There we go. That's better.
That's much closer.
So
Ooh.
what's he got?
You can read that.
I could guess.
Hey.
That's pretty cool.
I think this podcast is about to pay off.
Leafs? That's the question I have. Because apparently Leaf stuff's pretty hard to find. But
So you'd prefer Leafs?
no, I won't get it. I saw someone had a jersey, but I couldn't load it while I was in the city today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I get the feeling you're about to add Brian on Facebook to try and what's the word?
Bridge the connection?
No, facilitate.
Facilitate. I love that word.
Yeah, to try and facilitate this exchange of
Well, look,
AHL merchandise.
I'll be going to Canada next year, so
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, definitely.
What about the show?
Well, it'll be October next year, so we've got plenty of time to prepare.
We should have like a sponsor and stuff by then, I reckon.
We should, yeah.
October, so that's going to be 50 episodes away.
Is it really?
Well, it's a
weeks?
year.
Yeah, 51.
Roughly 50 episodes away,
Alright,
which
we'll
would
get
mean
to
that we'd be up to into the 60s.
60s.
We'd be closing in on 100 by that point if we're still doing it.
That's crazy.
So yeah, we should have enough of a connection that we could get you to Skype in or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's options. So yeah,
I just realised I'll be gone for a month.
you'll be gone for a month.
Yeah, it's a long time.
What's
that's the plan.
What's the goal? Just sort of a vacation holiday kind of.
Chris's brother's getting married at the end of September, and then because we're halfway there, we're going to go up to Newfoundland, then we'll go to Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good area that because that's on the east, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah,
that's the east
west.
side.
West.
Oh, okay. I got that
never,
wrong.
no, sorry, never ever. It's about never ever sex women. That's how I remember. East. Sorry, it is the east.
Or just north, south, east, west, but whatever.
Never eat soggy wheat bix.
Or just north, south, east, west. It's not hard.
Nestle? Yeah, I don't know.
News.
St. John's as well? Can't read that.
St. John's Ice Caps are now the top affiliate of the Winnipeg Jets.
Jets, I knew that.
News to me.
Here you go.
I'm assuming the Winnipeg Jets are in the AHL as well?
They'd be in the NHL, maybe.
I didn't know that. Not that I followed the NHL, but I didn't know there was a Winnipeg Jets. Anyway, now I feel like we should talk about some VFL teams to just sort of even it out and get a bit more Australian with it. But we're an international show, so there's no reason why we should.
I don't know anything about VFL.
The Sandringham Zebras? No?
My sister's ex-boyfriend used to play for them.
Ah, that's an association there. Frankston Dolphins?
Never heard of them.
There you go.
What's Richmond's one? Coburg Tigers?
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What else you got? Anything?
I watched half of a decent movie last night.
Half of a decent movie.
The movie was all of the movie was excellent, but I only watched half of it.
Okay.
So,
yeah, the Jets are in the NHL. What was the movie? Horns.
Yeah, I think I spoke about it a few dozen podcasts ago.
Abo.
What's
it about?
It's the Stephen King son's book.
Yes, you did mention that.
Yeah. And so far, so good. Like from what I've watched, they've kept it really true to the book.
Good.
Except for one thing that I wanted to know how they were going to do.
Yeah.
That they didn't do.
And they just didn't do it.
Well, they modified it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd recommend the first half?
Well, from what I've watched so far, it's been excellent. Yeah, and I've just spent the entire time saying, Harry Potter just said fuck because Daniel Radcliffe plays the main character. I just saw Harry Potter's cock.
Oh. Yeah. Well, lots of people have seen that though. He's done a bunch of naked stuff.
Yeah.
He seems to have. The thing that I always...
Well, as Chris kept saying to me, he really doesn't want to be known as Harry Potter anymore. Yeah.
But he, just like all three of them, they did a very good job at picking people. At least, I mean, with Emma and Daniel for sure, but even what's his name? Rupert. Even though he hasn't really continued acting, they managed to pick 3 actors at like 11 that were going to still be decent at 19, which I always thought was impressive. When it came to the child cast, they didn't have to do too many replacements throughout it. They managed to pick kids that were going to go on to be quite good actors 8 movies down, which I was always quite impressed by. And again, with Daniel, he's gone on to somewhat quite enjoy being an actor and continue doing it, which is quite impressive, I always think. Because when you're 11, if you'd sort of pick something, 10 years, 15 years later, you probably... I know I wouldn't have still been doing it.
I don't like doing things 2 years later when I first start them.
Yeah, so I've always found that quite an impressive aspect to the Harry Potter series behind the scenes, as it were. It's just a shame that Goyle got arrested for drugs.
I don't know how you know that.
It's just one of those little tidbits of information, because Crabbe and Goyle, 2 fat bullies. Yeah. One of them, got in the real world, got arrested for weed and got put away, I think. And that's why he's not in it, and there's a tall black guy.
That's right. I as I was saying, I went for a ride into the city yesterday, but I also went back into the city today with the kid I volunteer with.
Yep.
And we were walking near where H&M is, the corner of Burke and...
The old GPO, yep.
The old GPO, right? And there was this guy walking. We could see him walking across the street. He was a young fellow. Wouldn't have been any more than, mid-20s. Stereotypical hippie, like dreads, the bare feet, ugly ass pants on.
Thai fisherman's pants.
Yep, Thai fisherman's pants. Smoking a cigarette. And, we get closer, and I'm like, that's not a cigarette he's smoking in public. And my little buddy was asking me, how can he get away with that? Isn't that illegal?
How did the kid know?
He didn't. He said, oh, that smelled funny. I said, yeah, it was weed.
Oh, okay.
He goes, he didn't ask me how I knew, but I'm an adult. I've made my decisions. He said, is that illegal? And I said, well, no, not really. Like, I mean, it is. It is.
No, it is.
There's no copper that's going to buzz.
But it's not
someone for smoking a joint.
It's not decriminalised or anything.
No.
In Melbourne, so technically, yes, it is 100% illegal.
But no cop's going to bust you for.
I have been told by a police friend that cops don't really bother with it anymore in Melbourne. So it is effectively decriminalised here in that, unless you're doing something really wrong, like and you're really being like,
on the street
if you're pulling a cone on the street, then probably the cops are going to say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You're going in. I would imagine a cop, if I was a cop and I saw someone smoking weed just walking down the street in the city, I'd be like, oi, don't.
Knock it off.
Just go find a freaking park, get away from people. Because I've always found that when I've smoked in public back in the day, because I just don't smoke anymore, I've always found that always felt that the best thing to do was to just go away somewhere private, down an alley, somewhere where there's just no people, and just be polite about it and be discreet about it. Same with if I'm drinking and I happen to be on the train or something, I'm just going to be discreet about it. I'm not going to sit there and be like, with my beer out. I'm going to put the beer beside me so that people can't see it. I'm going to take a swig and then I'm going to put it back. And I think to me, that's the line. As long as you can handle your high and you're discreet about it, which to me, that doesn't sound like the typical hippie was being terribly discreet about it.
He was just walking the street.
Walking through the city. Yeah.
But aren't we in the process of almost getting medical marijuana legalised?
I've seen some stuff about that, yeah.
I probably should be paying more attention to that, but I'm not.
Why should you?
Well, if it's legal, I might suddenly get, itchy feet disorder and have to get...
I honestly would be... If it became medically legal, I would be looking into getting let's just say... No, not a dispensary, but let's just say it's similar to the Californian system where you've just got to go to a doctor and get a card. I would definitely be looking into that, not to use it on a regular basis, but because I think I would find the correct strain of weed very therapeutically beneficial at certain times. Yep. Because I've had times where I've smoked
when you're hungry, when you're horny, when you're sleepy,
when you get up, when you go to sleep, when you're at lunchtime. Because I've found at different times I've had very positive and very negative responses.
Me too.
And I think having the ability to go to a dispensary and have the correct sativa instead of the indica, and having the correct one at the correct time could be very beneficial for me, in conjunction with a bunch of other stuff. Because I find a lot of people that you might listen to on podcasts and things like that say that it's the be all end all cure for many social ailments and stuff like that. I don't fully agree with that, but I think just like alcohol, it can be somewhat beneficial.
Oh, I don't think alcohol's at all beneficial.
I think it can be in terms of having it with dinner. If you have the right kind of drink, the right kind of quality alcohol, for instance, pretty much anything CUB produces you should ignore.
Oh, good.
But the right kind of alcohol with a meal can benefit that meal and can then lead to, especially with the changing in attitudes, can lead to a...
So I'm just looking at the delay, and it looks like I've been picking my nose the entire time, but I've been twirling my mustache on the side. But because of
because the mic was in the way. Yeah. Oh, it's clear there. It was clear there. Yeah, it's definitely clear.
Good.
Can then lead to very stimulating and raucous discussion and positivity in that regard. And for celebrations and stuff, a bit of champagne makes you feel a bit merry and dancey and stuff like that. It's just the regular use that... And I'm a big believer in the right kind of alcohol for the right kind of situation. Yeah. Hence why anything via CUB, and usually anything via CUB in a can, it's not good for me. But to each their own. It's all part of as I think we said in one of our very first podcasts, it's all part of an equal, varied diet and a varied life. You should go and exercise more than you drink or smoke or anything like that. And the occasional beer and wine is not necessarily that bad. That's my 31-year-old opinion.
Been having a bit of rum lately.
Yeah. Now, see, this is the interesting thing. How do you have the rum? Just a neat little shot?
No, a bit of Coke.
Yeah.
Coke, yeah. Been having Scotch straight, but...
And how does that make you feel?
Sometimes not the best.
No. Now, is that you have a lot of the rum?
No. It's just because alcohol's a depressant.
Yeah.
If I have it at the wrong time, I just feel depressed.
Yep, absolutely.
Like one thing that would not normally set me off will just make me feel horrible.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something I've noticed as well, that I find certain alcohols magnify whatever I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling good, they usually magnify it. Oh, we lost it. They usually magnify it up and I feel better. But if I'm feeling down or something hits me, something could send me down, then I'm a lot more vulnerable to it and it will make it worse. Yeah. I'm quite partial, and I think I've mentioned this before, to a Scotch and a cigar. Enough that I feel a little bit merry and I feel the effect, but not enough to be unable to walk home. That's my goal when it comes to the drinking. Although, and I should take the mic with me if I'm going to keep talking whilst I type the password in. One of when I first met the lovely Jamie, who's not here tonight, we first met via the internet, and one of the
Tinder.
No, Twitter. One of the first.
How do you meet someone on Twitter?
We both were following the
Will Anderson?
No, Wally DeBacker, Gautier. And I posted something talking to him because I've done an interview with him before for a online music publication, and I actually went down to his parents' place down at Merrick's Beach and chatted to the whole band and watched them do some demos and stuff for a new album they were working on, and was talking to him on Twitter about something. It turns out that he grew up in roughly the same area as me, and I posted something to him, and it appeared to...
Who are we talking about?
Wally DeBacker, Gautier. And it turned out that...
what's his name? Wally Tobacco.
DeBacker.
And what does he do? Gotcha. Is he those gotcha calls guy?
And it turned out that Jamie is a big fan of his, and it appeared to her that I kind of knew him more than I actually did.
So he was somebody that you used to know.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. And
I am awesome.
If Jamie was here, I'm sure she'd be laughing at that one.
She'd love to watch it.
Yeah, because she does every time. And so she thought that I sort of knew him a bit better than I did, so she started chatting to me. We got to chatting, and it went from there. Okay. I don't know why I was talking about that. Why was I talking about that? Because one of the things that I did back in the day was
which was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday. A social media audio service called Audio Boo that have changed their name to Audio Boom now. They've put an M on the end. I posted a drunk rambling on that, of which she thought was hilarious. And I think the reason I was talking about this was because alcohol was good. I think that's why I brought that up.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I got really drunk at this wedding in Adelaide. Asked for the
what
key.
Else is there to do in Adelaide?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Asked for the key to our cabin, and proceeded to walk home. And the entire way walking home, I was recording what I was saying, and I was hiccuping and everything. And yeah, she apparently listened to it while she was at the gym or something and thought it was hilarious. So yeah,
there you go. There you go. Brian say anything? No, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit confused. Brian says participate in Pittsburgh Normal, which I assume is saying that he participates in Pittsburgh Normal, which is the National Organisation for the Reform of Marijuana Laws.
Yes.
Of course. Members and whatnot, meetings and whatnot, should tell you my opinion on that. I just, assumed that Brian was a pro-marijuana law reform person.
Well, I mean, I just don't see how it can be illegal still. Well, I know why it's illegal because of the whole hemp stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Randolph Hearst, whatever his name was. But, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, no one's ever died from smoking weed. No one's ever died.
I think there's probably people who have died from doing things or been injured whilst they were doing things on.
Yeah, but
I always find that seems like a what's the word? A little bit extreme piece of information or a fact. I think that there are a lot of people that are pro weed, which I am, seem to get very propagandary and just start saying things that I can't imagine are 100% true. I can't imagine that there's not somebody who's driven on weed and fucked something up or has hurt themselves.
No, I agree, because I would never ever want to drive a car.
I have driven a car a lot of times when I was really stoned.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
And I shouldn't have. I just cannot say that it was positive in any way.
I've driven home once because I went to the movies and I saw Pacific Rim really, really high because I thought, all right, by the time the movie finishes, I'll be sober again to drive home. And it's only a 5-minute drive from the cinemas.
Yep.
And the whole time I just said to myself, all right, I am never doing this again. Like,
I drove home from St Kilda to Mentone and had to pull over like 4 different times because I was in such a bad way. I shouldn't have driven at all. I should have gotten into the back seat and just laid down.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrible. But to me, I still stand by the thing that it is absolutely no worse than alcohol. It should be legalized and restricted and dealt with in the exact same way that alcohol is. You shouldn't be allowed to have it if you're under 18.
Yep.
You should be penalised.
I would go as far to say as 21 for weed. Like probably even longer, like 25.
And it should be restricted, and you should be penalised if you fuck up whilst on it.
Yep.
Just like if you're on alcohol and you get too rowdy at the footy, or you drive, or you do something wrong whilst you're on it, then bang, you should be fined and stuff. The same with if you were high and you did something stupid, then...
But you're not going to do something stupid when you're high. Like, you're not.
You are.
Like what?
People do it all the time.
Like what?
I can't think of something exactly, but...
No.
It is. As you're right, though. It is so common to.
You're never gonna get high and get the punch on.
Quite likely not.
You're never going to.
But that's I agree with you. But how many people have you known that are crazy people because they smoke so much weed? I've heard of a guy throwing his bong up against his housemate's plasma TV and smashing the bong because he was pissed off at something in the skits and the whatever had gotten him. Thing. I personally had. I think last
he should be taken out the back and hit with a hose.
But last week we talked about. I mentioned that it was about roughly a year anniversary of one of my worst depressive states. I believe that a whole heap of things contributed to that. One of which was a fairly regular weed smoking at the time. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me that abuse of marijuana doesn't cause problems. I believe they're just as bad as abuse of alcohol, because how many alcoholics have we found that get abusive and smash things and go nuts? I disagree.
Maybe you're just an abusive person.
I'm not. I didn't get abusive.
No, I'm just saying.
But I definitely believe that marijuana has negative aspects. There's no doubt in my mind that it doesn't have negative aspects. But
I think people have negative aspects.
Aha, yes.
Yeah.
People have negative aspects, and if they take too much of any drug or have too much of almost anything, they're going to have bad repercussions. If you diet too much and you go running too much, you're going to waste away.
Yep.
You're going to become anorexic. If you eat too much and go and eat bad food too much, you're going to get fat.
Yep.
I had it the other week on my holidays. I trained too much and didn't eat enough. It had negative effects on me.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't think that weed is completely 100% no issues. There are issues, but they're no worse than...
Running out is a serious issue.
Sorry?
Running out
is a serious issue.
Yeah.
Green over the next day is terrible.
Green over?
Like hangover, but green.
Nah, you don't get that.
Yes, you do. That's ridiculous that you'd say that. But it's no worse than other things, and that's why it should be legalized and taxed the exact same way. Brian says, in the States, more people are making money with it being illegal.
Yep.
Jails, police, prescriptions, judges, etc. Those people won't have jobs with it being legal. At least that's their mind state. That is absolutely true.
My question would be for Brian, like this is what I don't understand, because my thinking is with the dispensaries, they're quite expensive to buy. Like for here, roughly, I don't know how it is anymore because I've never bought small amounts for a very long time, but you could probably get a gram of shit weed in Australia for $20.
That's the standard, isn't it?
But what is it in America? Like in a dispensary, do you buy in grams? Do you buy in?
Well, I think
buy in ounces. I don't think they'd let you buy an ounce at a dispensary.
That's 45% tax on them. I don't know what them is.
On the dispensaries, I think.
But yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people have said is that if it became legal, the price of it would skyrocket.
Yeah.
Because people having a business would then have to make their profits back.
Yeah.
I personally, as a gardener and a horticulturalist, want it to be legal so that I can grow it myself.
Yeah.
Because I've got, as we know, I've got a coffee plant out there because I like coffee and I want to grow it from the get-go and make my own coffee. I would, if I had a farm, I will definitely be growing hops so that I can make my own beer. If I have an excess of like crab apples or something, I'll probably try and make my own cider. I definitely love the idea of getting a still going and making my own vodka.
Potatoes.
With the potatoes. And I would most definitely be growing hemp and marijuana in order to participate in that. And I don't see why that's illegal. That shouldn't be stopped, in my opinion. If I want to grow peyote, I should be allowed to. I also will be endeavouring to get into some psilocybin mushrooms as well, because the natural world is fantastic. But anyway, how did I turn this into a horticulture?
I don't know. We're just stuck on the weed because of the fucking hippie smoking weed in broad daylight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's again, all of these things. I'm sure you would probably agree with me. Should be done either privately at home or in a discreet-ish setting.
But people are allowed to smoke cigarettes in the street.
Again, I would have no problem with cigarettes becoming something that you did in a discreet setting. Just like cigars. No one smokes a cigar walking down the street.
No, they don't. Because you want to relax and, you know. Which leads to my next question, and this is something that I can put to you and Brian, because he will have no understanding of this.
At what
because
point?
It's a very Melbourne thing.
Can I just interrupt? At what point do we change?
You're doing it right now.
What point do we change this to D&G?
I don't know.
If we got him on the Skype, we could just include him in. Anyway, you were saying.
What's the deal with all fucking hipsters smoking vaporized cigarettes on Brunswick Street? What's the deal with that?
I have no idea, but I did see a hipster doing it the other day.
Like, is it simply because that's the cool thing to do, or is it because the price of cigarettes is just so outrageous at the moment that...
I would imagine it would be both of those. I'd also imagine that they would turn around and say it's healthier and it's better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly can't give you a definitive, but I would imagine it's all of those things. I would imagine it's the cool thing to do now because you're allowed to do it inside. Yeah. I think you are.
Well, it's vapor. It's not smoke.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a cigarette smoker, so I don't know how it exactly works. But like, do you get cartridges? Like, because obviously I own a vaporizer and I know how that works. But I'm not smoking tobacco through that. But that's a big machine. Whereas
because I have absolutely no idea on vaporizers. That's like a thing like this with the bag up here or something.
Well, that's a volcano. I had a Debuta, which is you've got like a long hose connected to like a heating element. You put your herbs in the
so
thing.
it looks a little bit similar to a shisha or a hookah.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. I found out today that Snoop Dogg and The Game both do their own personalised vaporizers, and you know, I think that'd be alright to get just done. Because I cannot roll joints. Cannot do it. Cannot roll joints. Thank you. I've never been a rolly smoker, so I don't know how to do that. But even that, it's really hard to roll bloody cigarettes.
We lost it again. No, it's back. I disagree that it's hard. I was always a rolly cigarette smoker, and I could probably still roll quite a successful joint now, if I had to. It was always a talent, and it was part of.
But even like the tobacco, like rolly, the pouch tobacco, it's a different texture and different consistency to chopped up weed.
True.
Yeah.
But my thing, because I was always a cigarette smoker as well as a pot smoker occasionally, I'd always just roll a cigarette and then sprinkle a little weed on top.
Oh, I don't do that. Yeah.
I've always been a mixer, and I've never been a full weed joint smoker.
Let me get my phone.
Okay. I'm going to talk into two mics. No, excellente.
Yeah, a message.
We'll all just take a small break whilst we
I didn't bring snacks with me today. No crunchy.
Good, because I am absolutely starving and feeling a little bit unwell right now. So I'm yeah.
Oh, we'll just check our phone.
Yeah, we'll just have a
it's
break.
Jamie. Yeah.
Yep.
Just it might be important. It might be about food that I need to get. Oh, hey, that's you.
What?
That's I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've always been a little bit of a mixer, so I always just like a little bit because I'm much a my preference is always just to be a little bit stoned. I'm never really one of those ones that wants to be completely passed out or anything like that.
Yep.
So I'm always a big fan of just like sprinkling a little on top or something like that. So yeah, I've always been a roller, and it's a lot of people say that that cigarette smoking and stuff is part of it's not necessarily the actual tobacco and the nicotine, it's the process, it's the repetition and stuff like that. With rolling, it absolutely was. It was about getting it was about getting the tobacco, rolling the cigarette, having being, to be honest, a little bit proud in a good roll, because you'd roll it, you'd find another rollie smoking, you go, check that out. Look at how good I rolled that one. Getting it just right, being a little bit finicky with it, and then smoking it. Because I would probably always only like smoke about half a cigarette.
Yeah.
I've never an addicted smoker. I was never a hardcore smoker. And I never had a problem with just smoking half, which meant that joints rolling I could do quite easily, quite good at it.
Is Jamie on her way as well? It was just Chris saying she's on her way home. Oof.
I assume, yeah, because they were both at the same place, weren't they? I assume that's why she's messaging me.
Telling all the sexual tales. Apparently that's what the girls do when they get together.
Apparently.
Yeah. Like I do every time I hang out with my little foster care buddy.
Yep.
Went to all the comic haunts today, and Comics R Us in the city. I've had one now. It's two really good experiences where they have like a couple of boxes on the counter that are like collections together. They sell for cheap. So I went in and bought the first run of Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out there. It was like $30, and there was like 10 comics. 10 or 11 comics, which is fantastic. So I thought, look, I'm going to have a look today and see if there's anything there. And I picked up a comic called Casanova, which is... It started on Image, and now I think it's Icon, which is a Marvel imprint, that was written by the guy who does Sex Criminals, and I love the way he writes, and it's drawn artistically. It's done by the Brazilian guy who does Umbrella Academy. So, like one of my favourite authors and one of my favourite artists together. So you
were like, "This has got me written all over it."
And it was only the first 4 issues. It was $10, which is all right. Usually, $25 for those 4. But if I can't find the other 14 of them, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah.
So you've gotten 4, and there's 14 to go.
Yeah,
that you haven't got.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Oh look,
so if you really have you read them yet?
I've read the first one,
and you liked it.
It's really good. It's
So you reckon you're going to have to start looking for those other 14?
Maybe.
That's how they get you.
I know. Well, look, they've got trades, so I essentially just need to get 5, 6, and 7. Then I can buy volume 2 and volume 3 of the trades. But it's kind of like a serious version of Archer.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's a spy thing, but it's quite good. Like it's funny, and it's really sexually based. But apparently,
you do like a good sexual comic.
I do like a good sexual comic. Apparently, they're set up. Matt Fraction, the writer of Sex Criminals and the writer of this, his big plan is to do 7 volumes all on the 7 Deadly Sins. Ooh. So the one I'm reading now is Lust. The first one is Lust, and I think he did one on Greed, and
cool.
So see how that goes.
The 7 Deadly Sins seems to be quite the inspiration for some people.
Oh yeah, Well, 7 was a fantastic movie.
Very good movie. What's in the box? Yeah, that is a great film. That's fantastic. Yeah. Did you know that Kevin Spacey said that he didn't want his name on the title and stuff because they would pick that it was him? Yeah.
He made me put her, and then he made me fuck her.
Of course, you would reference that scene. Yeah. What's that comic called again?
Casanova. Yeah.
There you go. That's a comic for today.
I also bought, as I told you the other day, I went into the city Thursday afternoon and met Chris after she finished school. And 2 doors up from that was the book grocer. And they had a sign in the window, all books $10. So I'm like, I'll have a look. Graphic novel section. And I bought, as I was telling you, Shutter Island.
Yep.
Which is a novel that they've made into a graphic novel.
Now,
really
is
good.
The original novel, is that the inspiration for the movie?
Yes.
So the novel has turned into a graphic novel and into a movie. Yep.
So I finished reading that this morning when I was on the train on the way to the city, so I bought that for you if you want to have a read.
Awesome. Yeah. I still haven't finished that other one.
That's all right. Have you started?
No. Yeah, I've read maybe the 2 pages.
Nice.
I apologise.
That's okay.
How long have I had it now? 3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not a big thing.
I haven't read comics like much at all.
I've got the latest issue of Saga that I haven't even touched because as soon as I read it, I've finished.
You're done.
Yeah.
I've gotten very far behind. I've seen stuff that I want to read and that I want to sort of get into, and I just have not been reading anything. Which is annoying. I should have taken the advantage of this week or this weekend when I had the house to myself to just do nothing to read, and I wanted to, but it turned into sleeping late and watching old 90s movies
and eating pizza.
Yeah.
Has it gotten really dark in here, or is it just me?
It has, yeah. The sun's gone away. It was quite bright when we started, so we didn't turn the light on, and now it's getting low.
And we've just experienced daylight savings.
Yes, we have.
It fucks me up every year.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I got in my car today because I had to meet Stephen at 9:30.
Yep.
And he lives on the other side of town, so I had to leave my place by like 8:45. Get in the car and it's like 8 o'clock. I'm like, what's going on? And I realised my car isn't synced to the internet, so it hasn't automatically updated the time for me, whereas my phone did that.
I don't know how that screws you up that much, though.
Well, because I went to bed at 11:30 and then at 2 o'clock it became 3 o'clock. So have I lost an hour? Have I gained an hour?
Technically,
if I wake up in a different place, am I a different person?
No. That's ridiculous.
It's just a copy of a copy of a copy.
But I don't see how it's that much of a problem. You wake up and you go, okay, well it's that time now, and you move on with your life.
It just
don't get me wrong. It was good for. It didn't bother me as much because I woke up and for the first hour or so it could have been any time. It didn't really matter at all because I didn't have anywhere to be. You obviously had somewhere to be, so that changes things.
I got up and had breakfast. Well, technically I had breakfast made for me, which was really nice.
That is always nice. That never happens to me, partly because I get up early. I'm always up first, so I like having dinner made for me. That's always good because I'm not a nighttime person. I'm a morning person, so I quite like having dinner made for me.
Nice.
Brian, what kind of meal do you like having made for you? Anyway.
I don't know if you saw on the Facebook, but Polar Bear got third in the
He
the
did.
world. What a legend.
What a legend. So one of our guys from Dominance has made it to the international stage.
Were you at the GTA when he won his fight to get tickets to the world?
I think we've talked about this, and let's just confirm that it was the slightly controversial finish.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
It wasn't controversial. The guy he beat cracked the shits. And
the guy's team as well wanted to know why points were taken within the last few seconds or something. It was somewhat of a close, at least at the time it felt to me like it was a close match. And there were points taken just in the last few seconds, which, if I remember correctly, didn't mean that the guy went from winning to losing. It meant that it was going to be a draw or something. He still wasn't going to win. He just had a very close finish, of which there was controversy at the end.
But polar bear's a beast, so
yeah. It would be very frustrating though. Like, imagine being in that point and being almost at the point where you get a free trip to an international competition, and then losing it based on that.
Really dark.
It is really dark. Do you want to turn the light on?
Oh, for the last 15 minutes? Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make that much of a difference. That's why I wasn't really bothering with it.
Yeah. What else?
I don't know. I haven't really got much else.
No, me neither.
No, it's a little bit. We need to do more in our lives.
I know. Well,
how's that?
There you go. Shadow puppetry. Want to see my? Oh, that's a very good dog. You want to see my impression of two ferrets having sex?
Okay.
Hang on. Could be turtles. Now, all right, it's turtles.
Oh, this works really well for the audio version.
Yep.
If anyone's listening, this is why you should watch the. What's that meant to be?
I have no idea.
All I can do is the dog. That's all I can do. Oh, it's almost a dog. It's like a cartoon dog. Okay.
There we go. What's the plan for the week?
Training.
Yep.
Work.
Yep.
It's getting a little controversial at work.
Why?
Oh, we're kind of no one on my side of the work teams are very happy.
Oh.
So like, I got sent a message. Like, we work in Toorak, and I got sent a message saying from my supervisor, I'm watching Gardening Australia, and I hate Toorak.
Who watches Gardening Australia?
Horticulturalists like I do. I watched 2 episodes today because I was behind, and it was quite enjoyable. I really liked them. It's a great show. If you're into gardening or you want to get into gardening, I highly recommend Gardening Australia. Just not too happy with the way things are going at work.
Oh, well.
It's not anyone's fault. It's just the way things happen. Sometimes you don't get on with the way your bosses want to do it, and they need to change things because they're trying to make a profit. They're trying to run their business. It's not a person. It's like The Godfather. It's not personal. It's all business.
Business, yeah.
But yeah, coming to the end of my first year of my apprenticeship, so that's pretty good.
How many years you got?
3. The last apprenticeship I didn't make it to the end of my first year, so that's why it's positive.
But why are you putting yourself through 3 years of getting up at 5 in the morning and
I want to get up at 5 anyway. The low pay thing's a problem, but it's how you get. How you get a qualification. Because I'm apparently, as an apprentice, not like if I hadn't have been.
Can you dig a hole? Can you plant a plant?
It's more than that.
Do you know?
You've got to be able to name plants. You've got to be able to name diseases. You've got to be able to install irrigation. You've got to be able to maintain things. I can, but if I go to someone and say, "Hey, I've got 3 years' experience," they're not as likely to give me a job as if I say, "I've done an apprenticeship. I've got a certificate." That's going to get me a higher paying job than something else. Also, if I want to go on with horticulture you can actually do full-on qualifications with horticulture. I would need to have this kind of certificate to start with in order to go on to do
more study.
Which is something that I'm not 100% against. I would be very interested in that. I have 2 more years to decide exactly what I'm going to do with my horticulture. I've got a bunch of different ideas, and I'm not sure which one to go with.
It just seems so far away, though. 2 years.
Yeah, but it was 5 years or 6 years ago now that I first decided that I wanted to do some gardening. So, and if you're someone like me that reckons you're going to be doing gardening or horticulture for the rest of your life, 3 years isn't that bad.
No, that's true.
because I think I'm going to be a gardener.
You're gonna have to get a house. You can't be living.
Oh hell yeah! Having just a balcony with which to maintain some of my own plants is killing me. Yeah. I definitely want my own backyard with chickens and veggies and bonsai and plants and.
You can get bonsai now, can't you?
I can, and it is something that I'm looking into.
Oh, nice.
But not too soon.
Fair enough. Does Jamie need a lift back?
Yeah, no, she doesn't need a lift back. She's on her way, but she's talking about dinner, but we're still doing the show, so that's important.
I've got a woman coming home as well that wants to watch the rest of Horns with me.
Well, we've got we're going to watch Sons of Anarchy, even though she's already watched it.
I'm
and
so far behind with all
Ultimate Fighter season 21, episode 4.
With the girls.
Pardon me. Yeah, is up for today. Yeah.
Look, this has been a good run. We're doing better than last week. Let's call it, and we'll end on a high note. Because it's rapidly getting darker.
It is.
We're gonna have to do something about that next week.
It's actually somewhat amusing that it's gotten this dark. We can barely see. We can only see the reflection in our glasses at the moment. We will have to remember that next time that the timing of the show now is.
Look at that.
What? It's just Brian. Okay. It's all the posts from before.
No. But look,
that's not it. That's okay. It's not come up yet.
Okay.
Yet. I'm not even sure that Brian's still with us. It says that he is, and I appreciate it, Brian. Trust me, Brian, I don't know whether we say this enough, but if you weren't... my voice is still breaking. You can't go in there, Mr. Simpson. If Brian wasn't watching, it would be very questionable as to my motivation.
I know people that watch it on YouTube.
You do? Oh, well, that's all right then. The numbers are pretty decent on YouTube as well. We did a section talking about it last week, and we won't do it again this week, but the numbers are okay. So I apologise that I got episode 16 only posted up on YouTube today.
But we don't talk about episode 16. That was a terrible...
It wasn't our best, that's for sure. And I also only got 15 and 16 on audio today as well.
Oh, really?
I was a bit behind. So I apologise. But anyway... Are you thinking we call it?
Let's call it.
Let's
too
call
dark.
it.
We can't.
It is too dark. If we get in nice and close, though, it's much better. Like that.
Still dark.
Thank you very much, Brian. We greatly appreciate you tuning in at 3 a.m. your time to watch the show. Same bat channel, same bat time, 6 p.m. Sunday next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye from me.